On 4th November 2023, Economic Times reported that the Finance Ministry has released 10,000 crore rupees in urgent assistance to meet unexpected enhanced expenditure under the Rural Job Guarantee Scheme until the first batch of supplementary demands for grants is approved by Parliament at its next session. The unusual move came after 95% of the financial year 24 budgetary outlay of rupees 60,000 crore for the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme was exhausted well before the commencement of the winter session of Parliament, thanks to a rise in work demand. The urgent funds released last week to the Rural Development Ministry will form a part of additional rupees 28,000 crore that could be allocated for the scheme in the first batch of supplementary demands for grants for financial year 24. More people sought work under the MGNREGS until October this financial year from a year before, contradicting initial official projections of a moderation in demand. This is mainly due to an erratic monsoon that prevented the usual migration of workers to farming and a tentative industrial recovery, experts have said. Despite a 10.3% surge in August, industrial output grew 6.1% in the first 5 months of this fiscal year, lower than 7.7% a year before. An up to 10.4% increase in wage rates under the MGNREGS too kept expenditure under the program elevated. The person day work generation, which influences the budgetary allocation for MGNREGS, has already exceeded 87% of the financial year 24 targets so far, according to preliminary data compiled by the Rural Development Ministry. Percentage generated under the scheme rose 9.3% between April and October from a year earlier to reach the 2 billion mark, the data showed. About 214.5 million individuals opted for work under the scheme until October this fiscal year, up 5.8% from a year before. Members of 169 million households demanded work until October this work, up almost 9.5% from a year before. The data typically get revised as and when updated information flows in. In October, the MGNREGS job demand grew 17.8% with the 21.95 million people having sought work against 18.64 million a year before. Similarly, 18.38 million households opted for work in October, up to 18.3% from a year before. Elevated MGNREGS work demand adds to a raft of indicators including subdued sales of FMCG firms in rural areas and muted non-durables output that signal rural consumption demand will likely take more time to recover, some experts say. However, the job scheme is a handy tool for tackling any rural distress, they added. India witnessed below normal monsoon in 2023, the first in 4 years, as overall rainfall touched 94% of a benchmark long period average. Adding to the monsoons, the depth of industrial recovery too remained far from impressive this fiscal year, keeping a large section of workforce dependent on other sectors of the economy, the experts say. Despite a 10.3% surge in August, industrial output grew 6.1% in the first month of this fiscal year, lower than 7.7% a year before. Percentage generated under the scheme rose 8.8% between April and October from a year earlier to almost 2.05 billion.